one in the Starstorm build. And Newbee, like, obviously probably don't realize this though. Because often we see the Marauders go for maxing out Starstorm a lot earlier than this. In fact, he has gone for just praying in the arrows, putting his faith in the arrows and just maxing out. And one of the advantages to this is, especially if you're a poor support, as, yeah, speaking of poor and dead, can't leap from the 5 seconds, likely very dead, unless someone can get in here. Yep, that should do it. XBG should be able to back out there. Is the fact that really poor support Marauders, like when they have no money, no items. Oh, arrow, no, doesn't quite commit. But yeah, they've got no mana. So one Starstorm at level 4 takes like more than a third of your mana pool. It's just impossible to sustain. Whereas Arrow, she can easily toss 2 arrows and still have mana to ult and also throw out her leap.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now another 2k in the bank here for Morphling. I'm pretty sure it's BKB. He's just holding for buyback because their tier 3s are starting to come into threat.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Mirana's going straight for... Oh, man, this is rough. Like, I don't... Like, Mech Mirana is fine. Like, you can literally... Honestly, you can buy almost anything on Mirana and it's actually pretty good, but... His problem here is, again, the mana pool issues. Because he hasn't got drums or something, or even like a ring of Aquila, it's hard for him to pop the mech and have mana for his spells in his fight, especially once he levels Starstorm. Now, with the Chronosphere coming, only going to catch one though, and this actually just swaps him out. It's completely wasted Chrono, pretty much. Fissure comes out as well. They will get the kill there on Venture Spirit, most likely. Echo Sam goes out. Void is down first, so Dream Coil comes in. DK now in some serious trouble. Dream Coil only catching one at the moment though. It's worn off, and down it goes. Poor old Venture Spirit. They will pick her off in the end. Their Courier still in combat as Puck giving chase to Mirana. XBG will get taken out, and they're also going to run down CTY most likely. No, he gets the blink away. They try to get vision. They will get vision. CTY in trouble. Throws out the Hex. No, throws out the silence, but it's not going to be enough.
World of hurt.
Unfortunately, Orchid, not enough to stop them there. Just continually right-clicking him down.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, that Chrono needs to hit more than one. And the problem is if he only hits one, like this is the issue. DK, nice try. Like the fight top was good for them because they hit 3 in the Chrono. The problem is if he hits one, hits the Chrono, sure, he gets a priority target, sure, and then Venture Spirit goes, well, actually, no, you're not hitting him, and then swaps Panda out or whatever they've gone after. Arrow bouncing off the creep there. So he's really got to land a bigger Chrono than this. So waveform forwards. Not going to do anything though. Puck just backing out. Has got his Yules as well, should mention that. And Luna going straight into the... She went straight for BKB straight up, and she's also going for the Manta style now. We see... Gold graph, 7,500. This is Newbee probably feeling a lot more comfortable now. They're actually managing to mount a fairly good lead in terms of gold. Moving towards the 35-minute mark or so, and right now they're still struggling to get some core items up. Faceless Void still looking for that BKB, really needs it. He cannot wait into the fight with Masking Man and a BKB up. Even without the BKB turned on, he's got to be careful because the right-click power, as I mentioned before, is just, it's pretty ferocious. Like Luna alone,
thanks.
Right now, well, with the Venture Spirit, it's 26 minutes in, and she's hitting for 230 plus a swing. That is that's pretty painful. If someone picks up a Vlad something next for her, that's going to be a lot of damage. Well, Arrow comes out. Close range Arrow finds Puck, who's also invisible. They will have to back off there.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Earthshaker finally, of course, during that last fight, it looked almost like DK could take that fight. The Blink Dagger Echo Slam, big deal, definitely. It was a huge deal in that fight. Unfortunately, they countered pretty quickly. Puck got in there with his own Blink, set up the coil, set up the silence, and just forced DK back with a mass burst of nukes. Fortunately, Void getting picked off there fairly early as well. It's really hard for them. They just don't have the grunt to stay in this fight. The heroes are really squishy, kind of under the moment. Luna's just like, yeah, you know what, I've got the Aegis. I'm just gonna sit up here and right click your Rex. What are you gonna do about it? Got my own aura up. Venture Spirit's hanging back there. She's gonna really... Her priority right now is to stop the Chrono as Void lurks. Tries to find a Chrono angle. Doesn't find it though. It does at least waste a coil though. GM gets swapped around. Goes to the Brewmaster instead. Fissure comes out. No jump in. Oh yes they will. Waveform forward. Trying to drive him back. BKB up for the Morphling. Wants to go for this, but they can afford to. He just gets popped there. Arrow comes in for the side. Nice shot there by XPG. Sets this one up, but... She's just going to pop back up and walk away, and they do a fair amount of damage. There we go. Chrono catches 3. This is what they need. Do they have to follow up? They'll swap out on the Void's target. And they don't have to follow up damage. In comes the Sonic Wave. It's not enough, though. Void is going to get cleaned up. The Mask of Madness means he's so squishy. Vengeful Spirit might go down here as well. Ice Blast comes in as well. Now XPG in some trouble. Gets silenced up by the Waning Rift. Yule's up in the air. Tries to get clear. Leaps away. They've lost vision of him. No, they haven't. They've got a ward up, and they will right-click him down. Earn as well. He gets burned down. And Vengeful Spirit being healed up by the mechanism will survive, and now the Rax is in some trouble. Nobody lost there for the Radiant side, and DK losing 3. Pretty sure they had a buyback there. Well, not actually, this is lost 2, but either way, didn't go well for them. Meanwhile, we're losing Vengeful Spirit. No, she's going to stay in there. It's going to be Earthshaker, the first one to go down there. And meanwhile, the bottom Rax does go down. Luna's like not in position. She's right-clicking buildings. She's going objective gaming, guys. Let's do this. Morphling into trouble. Oh! Ice Blast. Lucent Beam. Down he goes. And a Scepter's done for Ancient Apparition. In fact, they're saying defend the tier 4s. Luna doesn't even care. She's just going to sit here and right-click this shit down. In fact, Vengeful Spirit's even building up.
Structures are fortified.
Might be a Rod of 8+, might be a Casual Vitality boost, we'll see, but look at this damage. Luna, 240 plus a swing now. They're going to jump in here, try and do some damage, but look, CTY just cannot get anywhere near this. The damage, just some right-click damage coming out. It's wrecking him.
Middle tower is under attack.
Luna's just literally sat under that tier 3 and just face tanked that and helped push it down with Manta-style illusions. Fissure comes out, doing practically nothing though. And they're just going to take the, well, no, they can't. The Creeper out of the base, and now the regeneration is back on. Now Blink, get an Echo Slam, then I'll try to set this up. Brewmaster now taking a hit, pops a BKB. Down goes the Void. Yet again though, they've also lost the Earthshaker. Brewmaster's rampaging about, whacking everybody with his stick, and that's a GG. DK know it's over. Newbee, they hit the timing they needed, didn't let it go to the late game, and got that early advantage they needed in this game to take it out. So, this is game 1 of the best of 2 series. DK taking the first loss here. However, they have a chance to save your rares. So game 2 coming up. Stay tuned and pray that they can do that. Unless you've got Arcanas down Newbee, in which case, rub your hands together because you're off to a good start. Anyway, guys, this is Triumph of Man casting. DK versus Newbee. We'll be back in a moment for game number 2. Server crash again. Alright, try again. Oh no, my entire Dota crashed this time. Brilliant. Alright. Trying to get back into that. Alright, so we're having some serious issues with this server. Stay tuned. We'll be live as soon as we can. Alright, here we go. We can try again. There we go. Fourth or fifth time's the charm. Here we go, guys. Welcome back. This is Triumph Man casting the Chinese Synergy League. And this is Team DK versus Newbee. Now, this is game number 2 in a best-of-3 series. Currently, Newbee hold a 1-0 lead. Now, it's all down to DK. Can they secure your rares and save them from loss? Otherwise, you're going to be pretty damn sad, aren't you? Good luck with that, guys. Anyway, we're going to have the bands come out. We've got the Brewmaster band out by DK. Yeah, it's causing some issues. Brewmaster band out. Also got the Terrorblade band out. Spectre band out by Newbee. Both teams, wow, some late game hate there. Don't usually see Spectre as the first ban. She's definitely good under this patch. She's really good for picking off people that after the early clashes. She's good for mop up and then just sort of cleaning up a bunch of swing gold.
5 seconds remaining.
I wouldn't call her first ban material. Not when we've got stuff like that. Even Death Prophet's still in the pool. Death Prophet, Razor Void, the big three. They're still there.
DK's turn to pick.
Still in the pool, so we've seen Death Prophet last game. As you can see, it picked up again. Not last game, the game before last game, of course, with HET and LGD. Death Prophet, of course, a common theme there, and will be Phases Void as the first pick. So there we go. He slipped through the banning phase. They go, yeah, let's take him, grab him up. So DK going to go with the Void again. Whether or not they go with a Morphling, though, again, might be a question. Newbee just sort of had like a full-on aura 5-man stretch. Said, all right, well, screw it. Like 25 minutes. Let's just push. Take Rosh and push. Off we go. What are you going to do about this? We've got so much right-click power. We've got our early BKBs. We've got some decent teamfight spells as well. We've got an And most of all, you've got the Void, we've got the Vengeful
Newbee's
Spirit. You
turn
try
to
and chrono somebody, you try and focus them down, you don't have that much damage yet, and we just swap them on out. There is nothing you could do to get a priority target burst down, and the Brewmaster just causes all sorts of havoc. It was a good counter pick all around there. Batrider, though, the first pick for Newbee. So obviously some strong lockdown. Could be a problem for Void if you get to jump by the Batrider quite easy, especially during the early game, to burst him down before he manages. Because the problem is, if he goes B, he often doesn't want to go BKB right after his Mask of Madness because he wants some damage.
Remaining.
Because otherwise, even with the Mask of Madness, he's doing okay DPS, but it's not great. It's not the DPS where he could solo the enemy core with any great ease inside a Chronosphere. Unless he procs a ridiculous amount of bashes. It tends to be Void wants to go into a Mask of Madness and a Midas or a Maelstrom in there, just to try and get that extra damage out. Usually a Maelstrom, and then get the BKB after that. But in the last game, just didn't have time. Newbee just hit the time. He said, "All right, off we go. We're pushing racks at this point in time. There's nothing you can do about it." Newbee again talking about pushing. They've secured the Death Prophet, and this is somewhat difficult. I mean, you can grab her inside the Chronosphere, but her ghost is probably still floating around causing havoc. So there is that. So not like a Chronosphere doesn't necessarily mean you can burst down. I think if they can, they want to grab something of obviously the Scarlet. Actually, no, it's banned. Never mind. Scarlet Mage not available. But they want last game that problem DK had was they set up the fight, and then if Mirana wasn't in position for an arrow, they often didn't have any follow-up damage to come through the Chronosphere, so it was up to Faceless Void to try and burst somebody down. And often they just let him get sort of halfway through someone's health pool and then just swap him out. There's nothing he could do to really make anything happen. Now, if they have some big, and I mean, really powerful AoEs to go after it, sure, they had the Queen of Pain, but she also struggles sometimes on positioning a really good Scream of Pain. It's just, you can't really get the position on it. Sonic Wave sometimes as well, but if you've got something like an Invoker, or even a Jakiro as well, just to throw in a big meatball or Macropie, that can set up exactly what you need. But, in us theory crafting aside, we'll see what DK have up their sleeve here. They've actually burned more than half of their reserve time at this point in time. Trying to figure this pick out. I hope they haven't crashed, actually. Is there any... Hopefully not a problem. Disconnect's never a good sign. XBG's just sort of fallen asleep. Nobody's mentioned anything. Alright, so they're going to use up pretty much all their time here. Yep, no, okay. They say, alright, let's get the Vengeful Spirit, so they can't counterpick it. And right now, Newbee, if they really want to be annoying, they could go for a Naga. Very easily get a Naga in, and that's another great counter to Faceless Void, just the whole, you use Chronosphere, I use Song of the Siren, what are you going to do? Waste your Chronosphere, you could do nothing with it, and then we turn around the assault on you. Especially if Death Prophet, you then turn around and then run an Exorcism at them. It's very difficult to stand up against that.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
We'll see where they go with this, though. They're just banning out some of the supports, getting rid of the Shadow Demon, getting rid of the Ancient Apparition. It's a solid plan, especially they want to get some healers in there as well to sustain the Death Prophet. It's a good idea to get rid of that Ancient Apparition. He does... Ice Blast is definitely a ball buster if you're trying to push early. They also get interesting. Get rid of the Disruptor. Now, normally we don't see Disruptor hit the ban pool unless you've got some very specific issues, specifically with heroes like EO, of course, mobility heroes, where he can just send them back. Disruptor's not a very common ban at all. Now, DK will ban out the Morphling. Interesting choice. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. You go Batrider, Death Prophet, Bane, another good, strong early support. Do a lot of brawling, do a lot of fighting, push towers, threaten lanes, and then all in the meanwhile, a hero like Morphling, who is very self-sufficient in terms of farm, can just look after himself. He's pretty hard to gank on his own. You need to commit a lot of resources to gank a Morphling.
Remaining.
And mostly, he just, he can rat and push on his own very easily.
5 seconds remaining.
But Newbee will grab at the Bane, so I mean, they wouldn't really...
Reserve
the Bane there. They could go for a Potom combo if they want aggressive. If they want aggressive supports again, Mirana, as we've seen, very good at setting up early hours. Bane, of course, is the usual suspect, but DK are going to go with the Visage.
Newbee's turn to pick.
Okay, Birds and Visage Aura, useful. Can as well as the Volume of Terror can let them do a lot of damage early, but if Newbee go aggressive, this could be an issue. Faceless Void obviously can't rotate early. Visage, again, he's a greedy support. He wants to just farm and level. He doesn't really want to participate early on unless it's a gank in his own lane, in which case he comes out with a solid assumption, tries to kill steal. Vengeful Spirit can get around a bit, but only so much she can do on her own. And obviously she has mana issues, so she can't really rotate that frequently. Even TPing can take a lot out of her mana pool.
Reserve time.
But we'll see what Newbee have planned here. I think they're looking... They've got their offlane, they've got the mid. They're probably looking, I think, probably for the next support. And it will be Jakiro. Although, technically, we have seen Jakiro run as a core.
Turn to pick.
So, possibilities are there, but I kind of feel like it's a support. But this is nice. They've got the... Jakiro's relatively tanky on his own. He's not one of those heroes that get picked off early. And you can also set up some nice early ganks with Dual Breath, Nightmare... Dual Breath, Ice Path, they've got some really good potential there to set up some early aggressive ganks and just generally be quite irritating. Of course, the burn damage on tower makes them a lot easier to push. Now, DK have gone for Viper. This is nice. They've got that lane domination that they can use against Death Prophet. She hangs a fair way back, but the fact that Viper can orb walk against her is really useful. On top of the fact that he's got the extra defense against the early spam of Crypt Swarm. He's got the extra magic armor, and on top of that, Death Prophet gets slowed down and damaged every time she tries to toss that in on there. So it's fairly difficult. She's probably still going to farm fairly well because of the fact that Crypt Swarm is just such a powerful spammy nuke to farm down the wave. But at the same time, she's not going to be getting out of hand. She's not like she's going to be up against like a melee hero. She can just bully out of the lane. Viper should be able to manage this all right in the mid lane.
10 seconds remaining.
And Newbee, though, probably looking for their last pick is going to be a core. They ban out the
remaining.
Shadow Demon. Oh, sorry, Shadow Fiend. It will be a Medusa
Newbee's
final
turn
ban.
to pick.
It's got some synergy. Yeah, it's definitely got some synergy, but it takes a long time to come online, and Medusa's not 100% self-sufficient. She's kind of easy to gank on her own. She's pretty squishy early on, so it can be pretty dangerous. It's not like trying to gank a Morphling. It's like either you get like a perfect series of lockdown on this guy, or he just freaking just waveforms away or just morph strength and laughs at you the whole way. So it's not as good, but it's definitely got really good... I mean, if you get a good Stone Gaze off that gets a couple of key heroes in it, and Death Prophet has 6 of the ghosts in it, oh god, they just explode. There's nothing they can do about it. The damage output from Stone Gaze with the ghosts is just ridiculous. See where Newbee go with this one, though. They are most likely looking for their core. I don't think they're running a core Jakiro, and it looks like... Oh, actually...
Team DK's turn to pick.
Could be either way. I'm leaning towards a core Mirana with Jakiro roaming, but then again, Mirana Bane roaming is so damn good. And would allow them to put a lot of pressure on the Viper mid, as well as the Faceless Void. This is really hard for him to deal with, just arrows coming out of nowhere, catching him out with the sleep as well. Super difficult to farm against that. Every time they go missing, it's such a threat. And on the other hand, if you get the like, if they're just going for an early push here with a Death Prophet and Death balling up and going for it, getting early farm Jakiro and getting that early mech out is actually quite useful in terms of sustaining the push.
Luna.
But DK go with a Luna this time around, so Mirana and Luna switching teams here. And we'll see what DK have planned this time around. And they've actually, DK have gone, you know what? We've got this double aura, let's put it, like, we've got the double aura idea of you guys, Newbee, let's put it to work. They've also got the Viper. Now, Viper, of course, hits like a freaking truck on his own. You're throwing the double aura on him, it just gets scarier. They don't have the chilling touch this time, but still, I feel like it's pretty strong. And this might actually be too much damage for Death Prophet to walk into her. She might just literally try and walk into the fight, get slowed by Viper Strike, and then just instantly right-click down. So this could actually be a big issue. It's also hard for Death Prophet to stay mobile against Vengeful Spirit, because it's very easy just to swap her into a bad spot and then beat her down. Have an instant pause. If anyone wants to call it DK's lineup. So we've got XBG playing the Visage, Black on the Faceless Void, Dreamy on Luna, Sikty Y on the Viper, and Cold Snap playing the Vengeful Spirit. And Newbee are still being difficult and making life irritating for me. I don't know why people do. Why do you people do this? We'll see where they go with these lineups though. It's going to be a support Mirana. There we go. So... Core Jakiro? Yeah, it is a Core Jakiro. Here we go. It will be Core Jakiro, which, yeah, I like this. The early aggression is there. They can make life really... Because Luna's squishy as shit, too. Like, they get a Nightmare onto her. If nobody knocks that Nightmare off and the arrow comes through, she's pretty screwed. She's going to die. So that's going to be quite dangerous. And also, one of the things they can do as well is run an offensive try and shut down the Luna first, but they would be up against a triple range Trilane with double auras. That could... Yeah, that could be tough, though. The right-click damage, if they don't land their combos and they just get into a bit of a right-click fight with Luna, Vengeful Spirit, and Visage, that's going to cause issues for them. Actually kind of surprised the last pick was Luna, and oh, I suppose they went Luna just for some team fighting power. Like, the last pick for DK also really could have actually been a Drow. That would have fit really nicely with the birds for a Visage, but the problem with picking Drow is she's good for the few pickoffs here, but the thing is, Newbee's lineup, they've got a Bat Rider, they've got Mirana, they've got a freaking Jakiro who's going core. They're probably forcing 5-man. They're going to try and force 5-man fights probably. And Drow doesn't deal with the 5-man fights early that well, whereas Luna, if you get into if you overextend or position badly against Luna in a 5v5, she'll eclipse you down. Especially if she gets some good early levels off as well. So that can be a pretty big threat to try and 5v5 against early on, and it can provide the burst damage to help knock Death Prophet out of the fight quickly. Especially if they can slow her down with the Viper Strike. So I do appreciate the Luna pick here over the I would say the more obvious Drow, because we've seen Drow picked with Visage so many times. Of course, one of Cloud9's favourite combos. Give them Drow and Visage, they will pick it like every freaking game. But in this particular matchup, you know,